I want to greet you today with a really important question. Is medication really needed with MS? And this is a question that most neurologists would not even consider asking. And this is what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, before I get into the data, I want to tell you that I'm more than qualified to talk about this because I healed my own MS symptoms over 10 years ago, and I've been symptom-free since then. And I got lucky because when I lived in fear and thought I was going to end up in a wheelchair, I learned some valuable information from my daughter-in-law. My daughter-in-law just graduated from Colorado State University and received a BS in dietetics. So when I shared my information about 2 weeks after my diagnosis to my family, she happened to be there. And this is while she was a girlfriend of my oldest son, now my daughter-in-law. So I learned from her first that I can manage my symptoms with diet. And I thought, I'm going to research that. And this is while I was really in pain in bed with a migraine headache, with a bunch of symptoms, with all my fatigue, my brain fog, my Hermiti's sign, and my numbness in my hands and my legs. I was a hot mess. But during that time, when I found out that information, I started scrolling on my laptop, trying to find information about diet and MS. And I stumbled across a lot of information. And I started to realize that diet could heal the majority of my disease. And once that clicked, I not only hoped that I can get well, I knew I can get well and heal everything. And because I got well, I became obsessed with holistic health. So I took a year-long course in integrative health and nutrition and became a nutritionist and an MS integrative health coach. And so now I help other people turn their MS symptoms around just like I did. Anybody can do this. And when I discovered that this incurable disease called MS comes with a price tag, and I'm going to let you know who's paying for it. One of the most fascinating things that I've studied is the placebo effect. And if you don't know about this, this is when many studies have been done, and you can look this up. And these are studies, anybody who has suffered from migraines to back pain to any kind of pain. And then what these studies do is they give a placebo pill to a bunch of people, which is a sugar pill, who are suffering from something. And then the other 50% of people that are suffering from the same thing are given the real thing, the real medication. And what the results have found is that the people taking the placebo pill thought they were taking the medication like 20 to 70% of what they were experiencing. So we know that the brain and our thoughts have to do with our biological way we feel. So what happens, the brain sends signals to the rest of our body thinking that we're getting the medication. So we already have healing in process due to our thoughts. So if we know that thoughts can trigger how we feel biologically, then why is it that we're told that diet and lifestyle won't help us get better? This is what many doctors have told their patients. Now, there's also doctors have told their patients that this will work, but you've got to take medication as well. So I'm living proof that diet and lifestyle works because I was not on any medication when I was healing myself. So if healing is possible through diet and lifestyle, then why are doctors always the ones that prescribe the drug? Well, follow the money. So in 2025, Big Pharma that made money from MS drugs alone, think about how many other chronic illnesses there are out there. But if they made over $20 billion from MS drugs alone, this is a massive global industry that relies on management, not remission. There's a website called openpaymentsdata.cms.gov. And when you go to this website, you will learn that 57% of doctors, and that's what it says on their website, get compensated from drug companies and medical device companies. This is a federal database and it's all public record. Doctors are required to show the amount of money that they're making from all these different companies. So when I put in the information from my neurologist, this was back in 2015 when she was my neurologist at one time. In 2024, she made over $800,000. And I looked at other years too, and she has made a lot of money from these companies. And this is on top of her regular doctor's salary. Back in 2019 and in 2020, she made over $1 million each year. I was floored. When doctors are getting paid 6 to 7 figures from these companies, how can they really be objective and really wanting to look into helping you with diet and lifestyle? So you might want to look into and type into this website how much your neurologist is making. And not all doctors, like I said, are making money from these companies, but 57%, like I said, are. Our medical system is definitely broken. So to round this out, let's look at what the $20 billion is actually buying. Let's talk about side effects of the top 3 MS drugs. So we've got Ocrevus, Kesimpta, and Tysabri. And I'm going to read this. And these are just the basic side effects that you might have. Ocrevus, infusion reactions, severe respiratory infections, and a documented increased risk of breast cancer. Kesimpta, injection site reactions, headaches, and the risk of PML, which is a rare, often fatal brain infection. Tysabri, this drug can cause liver damage, fatigue, and the highest risk for PML, which is brain infections. We're told that these are advancements. But when you look at the risk of increased breast cancer and brain infections, then you might want to start looking at healing yourself naturally. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm here to tell you what your options are. So I've been symptom-free for over 10 years, and I chose not to give any money to the $20 billion industry, but I almost did go down that path. This is before I realized that I could heal myself. At one point, the neurologist had told me the FDA is trying to pass this one drug, and you could be a great candidate. So I wouldn't know if I would be taking the placebo or the real thing. And I'm so glad, looking back, that I got this information about how I can heal myself through diet first, because my situation could have ended up looking a lot different. You have the power to change your diagnosis, and you also have the power if you want your doctor to be on the pharmaceutical payroll. So if you're looking for a lifestyle and food approach to healing your body, you can reach out to me and you can start healing through food, nutrition, mindset, exercise, mental health, and self-care. You can do this. The choice is yours. Let's prove the pharmaceutical company wrong. If you have questions, just give me an email, info@nourishyourway.com, and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching.